Hi, it's Canberra with Cam Media, and welcome to Cam Media Conversations, where I give you tips about social media and branding. Today, I wanted to bring you something that would help you with bringing your brand to life, because it can be difficult to understand what your brand needs for social media because there's so many opinions out there and there's so much confusion. And it's difficult to compare what your brand needs and your personal accounts. And I'm so excited to share with you today 5 things that your brand needs to be phenomenal on social media. Are you ready? So, the number one thing you need for your brand to be phenomenal on social media is an eye-catching photo. Your profile image should be something that your audience can recognize. So whether it's your logo or a picture of you, they should be able to recognize it no matter where they see it. So the important part about your profile image on Instagram is to make sure that it's not blurry, because it's a super, super small image and you want to make sure that people are able to see it and understand what it is, no matter if it's a picture of you or a picture of your logo. Because a picture of your logo, it could be your logo, but then if it's too small, too blurry, people don't know what it is. So you want to make sure that it's visible and that people can recognize it. So a lot of people have asked me if they should use a picture of their logo or a picture of themselves. My recommendation is it depends on what your brand is like. Like, how do you want people to recognize you? Do you want people to recognize your brand by your face, or do you want them to recognize from a logo? If it's a personal brand, I would recommend to use your face because that is your personal brand. But it all depends on your branding and your branding strategy, and you'll see that with most of these tips I give you today. So number 2 is a clear and concise bio. So when someone goes to your page, you want to make sure that they know who you are and what you do. I see a lot of bios that are just like one word, even for a business. I see a lot of bios that are just one word or just one sentence, and it has nothing to do with what they do. A motivational quote can be cute, but you want people to understand what your brand is about, what your business does when they go to your page, because that is a deterring factor for a lot of people. Like, oh, I don't know what they do, so I'm not going to keep scrolling. Or they're going to scroll through your page and like, nah, gotta go. So you want to make sure that your bio has your name, your company name, what you do, and a relevant link. So I use Linktree to make sure that my link is always relevant. So when I say click the link in my bio, I know that link, when they go there, it's going to have everything that I need them to see. Bonus tip is to make sure that your link works. Like, check it every now and then. Make sure you consistently check the link in your bio, because sometimes, like Linktree, sometimes it goes out and it's not working, and then people can't get to where you need them to go. So make sure you are consistently checking your link in your bio, especially when your post for the day or one of your posts for the day is sending them to that link. You want to make sure that it actually works. Number 3. I cannot preach it enough. Content is king. So imagine you have an amazing service or product and you have an amazing bio and a really cute picture, but then when people go to your page, the content sucks. So whether it's your copy, your content images that you're posting, or anything that's on your page that people see like first thing, you want to make sure that is on point. So if you're not really good at creating content, hire somebody, because content can deter people from your page. Even if people like your page initially, they can always unfollow if they don't like the content that you're putting out. So make sure that your content is relevant, consistent, and interesting for your audience. So make sure that whatever you're posting is relevant to your audience. So even just because it's relevant to you doesn't mean your audience cares. So make sure that when you're posting something, you ask yourself, why do they care? Why does my audience care about this particular thing, and how is it going to help them? Because that's what you're there for, is to give them content that makes a difference. As far as consistency, making sure your content is consistent will keep people coming in and will draw your audience in as well. Your people that are already following you, they will look for your posts, or they will know what to look for from you. Make sure that your topics are consistent, as well as when you post and how often, because you do not want to throw your audience off and you want to keep them engaged. So that leads me on to making sure your content is interesting. So it could be so interesting to you, but if it's not interesting to your audience, it's not doing anything for your brand. You need to make sure that they are interested in the topics that you're talking about and the content catches their eye. Please remember that your content is not for you. Your business is not for you. It is for your customers or your clients or your audience. That's who it's for. So when you're posting things, make sure you keep that in mind. It's very easy to go off track, like, oh, I think this is cool, and it has nothing to do with your audience and they're not interested, and then that leads to unfollows and no traction on your page. Number 4, your brand voice is a huge part of your branding. Finding your brand voice and sticking to it can be difficult at first, but once you get the groove and understand how to communicate with your audience, you are good to go. Your brand voice goes beyond your caption on each of your photos or the content that you post, like on Facebook or Twitter. It goes beyond that. Your brand voice has to do with the way that you communicate with your customers, your clients, your leads, the way that you talk to people on the phone when it comes to your business, the way you present yourself in person, and in your marketing techniques and anything like that. Anything that your brand does, your voice should be consistent. Make sure your brand voice is consistent amongst everything that you do. Number 5. So I saved this one for number 5 because it's what a lot of people like to focus on. It's still important, but a lot of people like to focus on this topic and not on the others. So number 5 is your theme. Using the same color palettes, fonts, and types of images and topics helps your audience to connect with you and recognize your content. This goes back to consistency. You want to make sure that you are being consistent amongst everything that you do. So whether your theme is sparkles or your theme is a specific color or a specific icon, you want to make sure that you are keeping your theme throughout your business. So you want people to be able to recognize your brand. So making sure that you're consistent with your theme, with your colors, with your content, with your consistency, with all of the stuff that we talked about today. You want to make sure that people understand what is going on and understand your brand for what it is and the person behind it. And make sure that you can connect with your audience, because that's really what it's about. Social media is about connecting with your people and bringing them in and building a community around your brand, because that is how you not only build relationships but also build your business. Because without your customers and clients, you make no money. So if you're not making any money, then you're not in business, sweetheart. So make sure that your brand is consistent, that it's good, it's relevant to your audience, and that it's actually what your audience wants to see. So a good thing that you can do is to make sure that you are listening to them and watching what they react to. So if there's a certain type of content, when you post it, they always react or they always say they love it, make sure you do more of that. Not too much, because too much of anything is not good. But you want to make sure that you are paying attention to what they like and what they appreciate, and you're doing more of that so that they will stay interested in connecting with you. It's important to note that branding should be consistent amongst everything that we do, whether it's on social media, our website, or even in person. You want to make sure that your brand is recognizable. I've said it so many times, but I want you guys to understand it needs to be relevant, recognizable, and relatable to your audience. To help you stay consistent and on schedule with your branding and your social media, I have created a social media content planner. So this content planner will give you content ideas and a place to write down your content schedule every single week. It's an amazing tool. It's exactly what I use when I am writing down my content, because I write down everything before I schedule it or before I do anything with it on the computer, because it helps me think about it. So I know a lot of you are like me in that aspect. I created this content planner where you have content ideas at the top, and then you have the day-to-day content schedule on the next page. So if you would like to download your free content planner, click the link in the description and you will get it in your email. So thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to talking to you soon. See you later.